right, we're going to start our CAM assessment for lower assessment mobility. I'm going to have Wes in a supine position, head neutral, hands relaxed. We'll start with the first test and compare side to side. We'll start on his left side. And I'm going to have Wes move through his hip, so axis through his heel to his hip, turning his toe into internal rotation actively. Hip neutral, a couple tries there. Now we're going to internally rotate here. Tighter on his right side with internal rotation. Move over to the left. We're going to abduct 30 degrees actively, so Wes is going to move away from his body 30 degrees. Take the toe in, internal rotation. Guide his motion, stabilize, but he's going to perform it actively. Again, abduct 30 degrees, internal rotation. Again, more restricted. Looking for compensation patterns at the hip and lumbopelvis region. Next, we're going to take the hip away, abduct 30 degrees, flex 30 degrees. Again, internal rotation actively. Looking for compensatory patterns. Away 30 degrees, hip flex 30 degrees, and again, rotate through the hip, tighter on this right side. Stay in neutral here. We're going to raise flexion to 30 degrees. Again, active internal rotation, Wes, so guide in. Good. Compare to the right, 30 degrees flexed at the hip, restricted here again, internal rotation. Okay, back to the left. We're going to flex 30 degrees, adduct across the body, hold that actively, Wes, and then I want you to rotate toe in, again through the hip. Flex, adduct, rotate through the hip actively. Good. We're going to work that same pattern into external rotation. So Wes, I'm going to have you actively take your foot out. So rotate out. There you go, through the hip. Again. All right, that's going to be hip neutral into external rotation. Again, looking for any substitution patterns. Take actively away 30 degrees. Again, we're going to rotate out. There you go. Good. Straight through the hip. 30 degrees away, external rotation. Okay. Next, we're going to go away from the body, 30 degrees, flex the hip 30 degrees, and rotate away. Good. Abduct 30, flex 30, external rotation. Okay. Final one in this pattern. Flex to 30, adduct 30, and external rotation in this pattern. Good. Flex 30, adduct 30, and rotate away. Okay, very good. In supine, while he's still in supine, I'm going to have him actively flex his hip to 90 degrees. Keep his knee flexed at 90, and then Wes, I want your heel to come out towards me, rotating through your hip, through your femur axis. Okay. Same thing here, flex actively, internal rotate actively, tight again here. Follow that with hip to 90, and then we're going to bring the foot in, Wes. So external rotation actively. Good. Toe or foot in, heel in, into external rotation. Very good. Active motion just assesses ability to move in compensatory patterns. Next, we're going to go to a figure 4 position. We're going to have his lateral malleolus just distal to his patella. And then Wes, I want you to let your leg fall out and actively try to bring your knee towards the table. Good. Again. Same thing, figure 4, distal to the knee, and then externally rotate knee to the table. Very good. We're going to look at knee flexion, active knee flexion. So the hip is going to be flexed at 90 degrees. I want his toe neutral here, so toe to 12 o'clock. Keeping the thigh right here, Wes. I want you just to bring your heel actively down as far as you feel comfortable. Good. In neutral, compare that one to the right. Hold that right there. Bring your knee flex into the neutral pattern. Good. We're also going to check tibial external and internal rotation with the hip flex at 90. So we'll do internal rotation first. So toe in, hold that position right there, Wes, then drive your heel to your seat. Very good. Same thing here. Hip flexed. We're going to rotate in, tibial internal rotation. Couple that with knee flexion. Final knee flexion pattern, we're going to rotate the foot out. Wes, hold that right there. Now, same thing, pull your heel to your seat with the hip flexed at 90. Good. External rotation here, hold that. Actively pull your heel to your seat, Wes. Good. Again. Very good. Last one in supine. He's going to actively bring his knee up, hip flex to 90, and then stabilizing the knee a little bit. All I want him to do is straighten the knee. Good. Final comparison here. Stabilize the knee, actively extend. A little tighter here. Very good. Okay. I'm going to go prone. Take Wes to his stomach again here, head neutral, arms relaxed, in neutral. I'm going to bend his knee to 90 degrees on this right side. And then Wes, we're going to go into internal rotation first, kind of stabilize this pelvis here, actively internal rotate. Look for compensatory patterns. Good. We're going to compare that to this side. Rotate out. Next one, move into external rotation with hip neutral. So we're going to let Wes, we're going to actively bring your leg into this position here. Okay, stabilize here. Good. One more. Very good. All these we're looking for movement restrictions and comparing. Finally, we're going to couple hip extension with knee flexion. So Wes, what I want you to do in keeping the knee bent at 90 degrees, I just want you to lift your leg off the table. Good. Stabilize the pelvis. A little tight there. See what it is here. 90 degrees knee flexion, stabilize the pelvis, and then lift off the table. Okay. Finally, we're going to couple hip extension with hip rotation. So we'll go internal rotation first. Wes, bring your foot out towards me. Now what I want you to do, I want you to bring your hip into extension, coupled with that internal rotation. Compare that to this side. So rotate out actively, and then extend the hip. Internal rotation coupled with, I'm going to do that once in this position so we can see it. Coupled with internal rotation. Good. Last one, we're going to couple external rotation with hip extension. So Wes, I want you to take your heel across this leg to your comfort. Now lift your leg off the table, maintaining that hip external rotated position. So again, a coupled movement pattern. Compare that to this side. Do that one more time just so I'm out of the way. could stabilize his pelvis here. Okay.